I think everyone who's dug into the Famicom library has experienced this. You go, oh, there's a game based on Akira, and that's followed by severe disappointment. Akira started out as a comic by Katsuhiro Otomo, but shortly after it started, it was adapted into a 1987 film. Otomo directed that one, and had to make up an ending for the film since he was just starting out with his comic story. Both the comic and film are groundbreaking and hugely influential. The game is based on the movie. Kind of. We'll get to that. And one of the only positive things in the game is that most of the images in the game are taken directly from the animation cells. So these still images generally look pretty good. It's everything else that's a problem, though. Akira tells the story of a teenage biker gang who, during a battle with a rival biker gang, runs smack dab into a conspiracy by the military dictatorship that has taken over Japan in the wake of the destruction of Tokyo. Tetsuo is abducted and has his latent psychic abilities awakened, while Kaneda tries to figure out what happened to his friends, falling in with a cell of rebels. So when it comes to adaptation, there's some big moments in Akira that everyone remembers, like the action-packed bike chase and fight from the opening sequence of the film. That would make a pretty good action game. Akira is an adventure game, and they skip that scene entirely. Of course, people also remember the trippy visuals from Tetsuo's encounters with psychics, and his rampage through the streets of Neo-Tokyo on his way to confront the ultimate psychic. None of that is in the game. The game is told entirely from the perspective of Kaneda. Kaneda spends the vast majority of the film not knowing what's going on, getting exposition delivered to him, and stumbling into things. He really only has a few scenes where he gets to be an active character. And one of those scenes was cut. So this is Akira told from the perspective of the character that has the least impact on the story. The game uses the standard pick a verb from this list interface, and it changes up which verbs are available a lot. To the point that when something unusual appears, you know that's really what you have to select. However, there's a lot of instant death options in Akira. Generally speaking, if you don't follow the film structure exactly, you're dead. You can obtain a password at any time, and when you die, you're allowed to continue from the start of the scene where you died. This absolute rigidity in the adventure structure, however, has stymied a lot of people who attempt to play Akira. Most players can't get past the opening scene, in which you just have to wait around in detention for a while. And again, I have to wonder, is this really the best place to begin the action for your story? Akira is a 3 megabit cart, so it was huge and expensive. I'm guessing that they wound up cutting a lot of stuff out just due to space. But the choices that they made are questionable. There are a couple of sequences where you have to do some action. Here you have to shoot out the flying bikes. You need to press and hold B when they're shooting at you, and you'll probably die a few times on this one before you get the rhythm of it. If they go past you, you have to hit select to look behind you. The box promised 360-degree views of the environment. They're used in exactly one scene. Right here. So it's another place where you'd get stuck if you didn't realize that you could scroll the screen around. The violence in Akira is surprisingly graphic. You get some fountains of blood when some people are shot, and I know this is what everyone's been waiting for, so let's just jump over to it. There's actually 3 different endings to the game. One that follows the movie, one that has a happy ending, and one that follows the comic and just ends on a cliffhanger. I got the comic ending, and it only took me about an hour of playing to get there. Of course, I was following a walkthrough, though the outcome of some actions was randomized, which made it a bit of a pain. During roughly the last 20 minutes of the game, I believe I made 10 inputs. Akira is really a tell-don't-show kind of game. And in Japan, it's remembered as one of the worst Famicom adventure games. People seem to really hate this one. One more thing to mention before I wrap up. You might have heard a high-pitched whine during a lot of these scenes. There's apparently a bug in the sound driver in this game that causes that to occur. And of course, what little music there is, none of it is from the film. Akira feels like another of those games pushed out the door for the holiday sales. though I'm not sure having extra time to complete this one would have improved it.